Good morning. Welcome to Chalice Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We are a community of diverse beliefs and experiences, nurturing the liberal religious spirit and united by our desire to grow in love and in service. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your life's journey, you are welcome here. Whether you gather with us every Sunday, once or twice a year, or are with us this morning for the first time, we are glad you are here. I'm Wendy Metzger, the worship associate today. Our pulpit guest this morning is Reverend Dr. Arvid Straube, Chalice's affiliate minister. Our worship musician this morning is Tim McKnight, and our song leader is Callie Leaf. Our sound and video engineer is Jake Diak. Our greeters are Ann McKernan and Sonia Prestridge. Our minister, Reverend Sharon Wiley, will return to the pulpit next Sunday, March 1st. Welcome to our Sunday worship service. Welcome to those of you here in the chapel, and welcome to those of you watching live using Zoom. For those of us here in the chapel, if you are sitting in a row that is not full, please consider moving toward the wall so we leave room along the aisle for congregants who may be arriving in the next several minutes. Also, as a reminder, please feel free to wear masks or step outside as needed for your comfort. You can hear what is happening inside while you are outside on the courtyard. We are always delighted to see newcomers joining us in worship. As a newcomer, you might be interested in the groups and activities we offer, which can be found in our email newsletter and e-news calendar. Online newcomers will receive an email invitation to join our email list after the service. In-person newcomers, if you haven't already given us your email address when you signed in, please share it before you leave. Our weekly email is the best way to get information about the many groups and activities we offer here at Chalice. Now, let us take a breath together. To worship, we acknowledge indigenous peoples with these words from Ilarion Merkuliev. Spiritual principles for living did not come from logic or thought, but from a much deeper source of wisdom, which our Unangan culture referred to as the heart. When Unangan elders speak of the heart, they do not mean mere feelings, even positive and compassionate ones. Heart refers to a deeper portal of profound interconnectedness and awareness that exists between humans and all living things. Centering oneself there results in humble, wise, connected ways of being and acting in the world. Today, and for too long, humans have been trying to deal with daunting issues with the mind alone. The heart allows us to focus on making our dreams of peace and harmony a reality. The mind keeps us focused on the problems. Indigenous elders ask the question, what are you choosing to focus on? Are you choosing to focus on that which you are trying to move away from, or that which you are trying to move toward? Because, they say, what we choose to focus on becomes our primary reality. Now we light our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. I'd like to invite Natalia Metzger-Key to light our chalice this morning. Our chalice lighting words. Sorry, it went out again. Good luck.
You're testing my math skills.
Our chalice lighting words come from Brian Kiley. In times of darkness, we stumble towards the tiny flame. In times of cold, we seek the warming fire. In times of repression, we reach for the lamp of truth. In times of loss, we pray for the comforting light. In times of joy, we light a candle of celebration. Spirit of life, as we kindle this light, help us find what we need this day. words of our call to worship this morning come from Sharon Wiley. You whose hearts are broken, come in. You whom pain has touched and sorrow and shock. You who have cried this week and read the news with sadness. You whom love has shadowed, you who grieve, come in, come in. You with hearts open to joy and hope, come in. You whom love has touched and friendship and wonder, you who have laughed this week and felt gratitude for life's many blessings, you to whom gifts are given in abundance, you who rejoice, come in, come in. All our hearts are broken and open. All of us here grieve and rejoice. This is our place. This is our hour. Together, to gather and sing and cry and laugh. Come in, let us worship together. Please rise in body or spirit to join in singing.
Our hymn of the month this month is There Is More Love Somewhere, which is in our gray hymnal as well as the virtual hymnal. We're singing it every Sunday this month to become more familiar with it and more comfortable with it.
Our Sunday worship is the shared spiritual practice of our community, and we tend to the congregation during this time by sharing and honoring our joys and sorrows. Here in the chapel, you are welcome to write your joy or sorrow onto a candle card, which will be collected from you. Online, please write your joy or sorrow, including your name, into the chat box. These joys and sorrows will be spoken out loud, and then we will remove this part of the service from the recording that goes onto our YouTube channel, so this sharing won't be publicly available online. If you would like to send Reverend Sharon a confidential note about your joy or sorrow, or to make a prayer request, please email her. Her email address will be on screen in a moment. Please enjoy some music while you write down what you would like to share, so that in the sharing, your burden is lessened and your joy is multiplied. We light this first candle for all that is broken and hurting in this world. We light a final candle for all the joys and sorrows that go unshared and unspoken this morning. These too are held in the love and support of this community. Now we invite the children and anyone else who would like to come forward for a story.
When Sadness is at Your Door, written and illustrated by Ava Eland. Sometimes sadness arrives unexpectedly. It follows you around and sits so close to you, you can hardly breathe. You can try to hide it, but it feels like you've become sadness yourself. Try not to be afraid of sadness. Give it a name. Listen to it. Ask it where it comes from and what it needs. If you don't understand each other, just sit together and be quiet for a while. Find something that you both enjoy, like drawing, like listening to music, or drinking hot chocolate. Maybe sadness doesn't like to stay inside. Try letting it out sometimes. Go for a walk through the trees. You can listen to their sounds together. Maybe all it wants to know is that it is welcome. And to sleep, knowing it is not alone. When you wake up, it might be gone. Don't worry. Today is a new day.
As the children leave for their classes, we sing together. We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go.
The poet David Rosenberg, in reading the book of Psalms in the original Hebrew, became dissatisfied with every English translation that he was familiar with, whether Christian or Jewish. The Psalms are poems, and the poetic structure of the original was not captured in any of them. The originals had more like the triadic structure of the blues. The content was a lot like the blues, unselfconscious, visceral, honest, and mildly ironic. I'm going to be reading two of Rosenberg's interpretations of the Psalms from his book, Blues of the Sky. In a little experiment, Tim is going to play some blues as an accompaniment. Psalm 6. Lord, I'm just a worm. Don't point to me in frozen anger. Don't let me feel I'm more than deserve all your rage. But mercy, Lord, let me feel mercy. I'm weak, my spirit so dark, even my bones shiver. My shadow surrounds me, I'm shocked. How long, Lord, how long? Till you return to shine your light. Return to me, dear Lord. Bring back the light that I can know you by. Because those who are dead have no thought of love to make a song by. I'm tired of my groaning. My bed is flowing every night in tears. Depression like a moth eats from behind my face. Tiny motors of pain push me. Get out of hate, all you glad to see me so down. Your every breath so greased with vanity. My Lord is listening so high. My heavy burden of life floats up as a song to him. Let all my enemies shiver, on the stage of their total self-consciousness, and all their careers ruined in one night. Psalm 130. I am drowning deep in myself, Lord. I'm crying. I'm calling you. Hear this voice, Lord. Find me in your ears. The mercy of your attention as it looks through the shell of my selfishness. If you see only vain impulses marking the body's surface, the lines in the face, then there is no one who'd hold up his head. But you allow us forgiveness, allow a song coming through us. To you, as I call to you, as I rely on these words, as I wait for you, more certain than dawn. Though the steady ticking till morning wait, even when watches seem to stop. My Lord comes to me in a rush of love, setting my heart free. Into a bright sky, we are lightened in the mercy of his attention. Today's sermon is about suffering. Hopefully the sermon isn't about suffering. The sermon is about suffering and misfortune and how we deal with these inevitable aspects of our lives. In the 1987 movie Adventures in Babysitting, Chris, played by Elizabeth Shue, agrees to babysit after her boyfriend stands her up. An emergency errand takes her to downtown Chicago, where a flat tire lands Chris and her 3 charges in a very scary adventure. At one point, running away from the bad guys, they go through an alley door, and they find themselves on stage with a band at one of Chicago's famous blues clubs. The band leader stops their flight and tells them, "Look, young lady, nobody leaves here without singing the blues." And so she does. She has the whole club rocking as she makes up a blues song about what's happening to her at the moment. It's a movie that's worth watching. But you know, if you think about it, that's what's true about life, because nobody leaves here, this life, without singing the blues. Nobody leaves without experiencing their share of suffering, of misfortune, of tragedy, and of grief. They're part of every single human life. No one escapes. Nobody leaves here without, metaphorically, singing the blues, or maybe literally. You know, as a musical form, the blues came out of the experience of the suffering of a people who came from Africa as a result of the slave trade. The blues evolved out of that music from these 19th century field songs and call songs and spirituals. And blues music takes the chord progressions and its rhythms all the way back to Africa. And in the blues, there's a note of defiance, even a note of triumph. And if there's not triumph, there's perseverance and determination. And that kind of music is even older than what we think of as the blues. So let's look at the Psalms. It's a book of poetry, which isn't always clear when we read the translations available to us. And they're not only poetry, they were sung. They were meant to be sung. They're songs. And so David Rosenberg titled his contemporary interpretation of the Psalms, Blues of the Sky. And it is true that many of the Psalms are blues of songs of poems of lamentation. They were visceral complaints about ill fortune. They were uncensored expressions of human emotions, including anger and ill will against enemies, and deep groaning of the soul. So that's why we did this little experiment this morning, asking Tim to play the blues while I read the Psalms. I don't know what you thought, but I thought that they went together pretty well. They had that kind of feel. No one leaves here without singing the blues. You know, this is the question that we seem to all have to ask at some point. Why? Why? Why do we suffer? Why can a drunk driver suddenly end the life of someone we love? Why can a child die before her parents? Why can we suddenly be struck with a fatal illness when our life is going along great? Or if we frugally save for retirement, only to have a conspiracy of heedless or sociopathic executives crash the world economy out of their greed? Why would natural events destroy homes and lives? People ask that old question of the blues. Why? Why me? Why? And people want an answer. The problem is, sometimes there isn't one. That's hard for us to accept. So we humans, we've come up with all kinds of mystical explanations or metaphysical explanations. God's will, it's God's will. Or it's karma. Elaine Pagels is a historian of early Christian history, and she wrote a book about how the concept of original sin came to be in Western Christianity. The book is called Adam, Eve, and the Serpent. She wrote about the evolution, the historical evolution that led to the idea of original sin. It took 4 centuries, by the way, for that to become doctrine in the Western church. This is a doctrine that says that humans are, at the moment of birth, or even before, depraved, evil, bad. Humans are helpless against their evil, according to this doctrine. And we're stuck being evil unless we are rescued by divine sacrifice and divine will. Like I said, it took 4 centuries for that to be accepted doctrine in Christian history. And by the way, it's only Western Christianity where this is doctrine, not Eastern Christianity. People don't know that, not Judaism. Original sin is not a doctrine in those faith traditions. Adam, Eve, and the Serpent is a scholarly book, but it's well written. It's interesting. I recommend it if you're interested. It's a good read. But at the end of the book, Pagels got personal. She asked herself the question, why would people believe something like that? You know? From a psychological and existential point of view, why would people want to take blame, personal blame, for the terrible things that happen to them that are not their fault? When she was writing the book, that same year, both her husband and her son died. And she thought maybe she could understand at least part of why people would accept something like that, though she did not. Maybe people would rather take personal blame, even if they don't deserve it, than accept that terrible things can happen for no reason that we can see. It's hard to accept. We just have to accept that no human life is without pain and tragedy, and those are not always our fault or under our control. Rabbi Harold Kushner wrote a book called When Bad Things Happen to Good People. When Bad Things Happen to Good People. And most people hear that title of why good things happen to bad people without even thinking. People tend to turn that into why bad things happen to good people, but it's when bad things happen to good people. In that book, Rabbi Kushner describes how his son David died at the age of 15 of old age. He died of old age at 15. He had that rare genetic disease of premature aging. And after his beloved son died, this good rabbi questioned his faith. How, he thought, how can I still believe in a God that would do something this cruel, when he had also experienced the power and wonder and love of God, which was real to him? He decided something radical. He decided, unlike what he was taught, that God is not all powerful. Think about that. His thought was that God is not all powerful. God does not control everything. Therefore, God did not cause his son to die of old age and leave him bereft. It wasn't God. As he pondered, he saw that there was a lot of chaos, a lot of unknown going on in the universe. And because of that, random things happen, evil things happen, bad things from our perspective happen. And despite that, just as real to him and just as real to many of us, God is real and there, always trying to heal what is broken, to harmonize what is disharmonious, to transform that which needs to be transformed. People can experience all of that in their lives without having to believe that God is all powerful. And that what happens is not, we can accept then that what happens is not always our fault. Kushner concludes that while our tragedies and suffering are not a reflection of our worth of people, as people, we have a choice to make about how we respond to them. I'm quoting from the book, When Bad Things Happen to Good People. Pain is a price we pay for being alive. Dead cells, our hair, our fingernails, can't feel pain. They can't feel anything. When we understand that, our questions will change from why do we have to feel pain to what do we do with the pain so that it becomes meaningful and not just pointless suffering? How can we turn all the powerful experiences, painful experiences of our lives into birth pangs, into growing pains? We might not ever understand why we suffer or be able to control the forces that cause our suffering, but we have a lot to say about what that suffering does to us and what sort of people we become because of it. Pain makes some people bitter and envious. It makes others sensitive and compassionate. It is the result, not the cause of pain, that makes some experiences of pain meaningful and others empty and destructive. Powerful words from the rabbi. Think of what a change that made in his view of his calling, of his ministry, of his life. what he took from this experience, and it made him a better person, and it made him a better rabbi. It helped him to realize and to concentrate on what is really important. We don't always have a choice about what happens to us, but without making light of the suffering and how long this could take to heal, we do have a choice about how to ultimately respond. I know this because in my 35 years of parish ministry, I've talked to many people who've had similar heartbreaking experiences, things they would not wish on anyone, much less themselves, and would never want to go through again. But they did find meaning in them. They even found blessings in these experiences. As the poet and songwriter Leonard Cohen said, there's a crack in everything, but that's how the light gets in. These experiences made them more compassionate. It made them more grateful for love and friendship. It made them more open to the blessings of the world. It made them able to reach out and understand people who are going through the same experiences, help them to heal. They were more open to the blessings of the world and the true meaningfulness of life. There are more good things in this world than bad. We're surrounded everywhere by an excruciatingly beautiful natural world, if we notice, maybe especially on a day like this. We're surrounded by love and friendship, and we have the privilege and the joy of giving it in return. If our eyes are open to seeing it, we're surrounded by kindness and mercy all around us, all around us. Our bodies give us the eyes to see beauty, the ears to hear music, the nose to smell orange blossoms, the tongue to taste delicious food, skin to touch. The bad makes us suffer because it's not all there is. But the light shining through the cracks is ever more beautiful and precious as a result. Blessed be and amen. Yes, I'm introducing this hymn. This is why I picked it. There is a balm in Gilead. So let me tell you a little bit about the background. In the book of Jeremiah, as the people of Israel were being besieged by empires and their corrupt government was falling and the people were lost, Jeremiah lamented, "Is there no balm in Gilead?" And his answer was in the negative there. Gilead was where all the good doctors were in those days, and the balm was a healing potion. When African Americans took that scripture and turned it into this song that we're about to sing, their answer was positive. There is a balm in Gilead. So please rise as you're able, and we'll sing it together.
There think my work's in vain. But then the Holy Spirit revives my soul again. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. Please be seated.
The Sunday offering is an expression of the generosity that makes our congregational life possible. Maya Angelou said, "I have found that among its other benefits, giving liberates the soul of the giver." We encourage you to text your donation to Chalice. If you haven't texted a donation before, once you text the amount, you'll get a reply with a link to enter your card information. If your Sunday donation is meant to be part of your pledge payment, please be sure to indicate pledge after the dollar amount. The phone number for text donations will be on screen in a moment. If you prefer to make an in-person donation of cash or check, there are envelopes and a donation box to the left of the chapel double doors. You can leave those donations after the service. Please give generously. Please join in dedicating our offering with words of affirmation.
This is an interpretation by Lala Winkley of a familiar prayer. Will you pray with me? God, lover of us all, most holy one, help us to respond to you to create what you want for us here on earth. Give us today enough for our needs. Forgive our weak and deliberate offenses, just as we must forgive others when they hurt us. Help us to resist evil and to do what is good. For we are yours, endowed with your powers to make our world whole. Amen.
Please rise in body or spirit to sing hymn 344 in the Gray Hymnal, A Promise Through the Ages Rings. This is a new song to Chalice, so Tim will play it through once. always rings, that always, always something sings, not just in May in Finchfield Bower, but in December's coldest hour. A note of hope sustains us all. Our life is made of many things, bright stars, bleak years, and broken rings. Can it be true that through all things there always, always something sings? The universal song of life. Entombed within our deep despair, our pain seems more than we can bear. But day shall pass, and nature knows that deep beneath the winter snow, a rose lies cold and hums its song. For something always, always sings. This is the message Easter brings. From deep despair and perished things, a green shoot always, always springs. And something always, always sings. Please be seated.
Our closing words come from the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Wherever you are today, you can make it. Hold your head high, stick your chest out. You can make it. It gets dark sometimes, but the morning comes. Don't you surrender. Suffering breeds character. Character breeds faith. And in the end, faith will not disappoint. Love and blessings to each of you. You are invited to close our time together by singing the well. After our closing hymn, please return to your seats for some announcements.
We drink from the well together, cool, cool water that quenches my thirst. A thirst for justice, thirst for joy, thirst for a love that we're all a part of. We drink from the well. We drink from the well together. Hand in hand we are standing as one, standing for justice, standing for joy, standing for a love that we're all a part of. We drink from the well. Open the doors to the world outside, spirits renewed from within. Look for the dream in each other's eyes, the spark where a new world begins. Yes, we drink from the well together. Heart to heart we are dancing as one, dancing for justice, dancing for joy, dance for a love that we're all a part of. We drink from the well, spirits renewed. We drink from the well, stand hand in hand. We drink from the well, dancing for joy. I feel my heart swell. We drink from the well.
Good morning, everybody. We have today an important and consequential social justice team meeting at noon in the Rainbow Room. Topics will include an update on Spirit Level Foundation activity, food bank activity, protest activity, immigration activity, vigils, politics, no, not religion. Anyway, I hope you'll be able to come. Noon, Rainbow Room. Paul will be facilitating.
Today kicks off our annual March Madness voting. This year, we are celebrating San Diego's rich biodiversity by voting for our favorite San Diego County native dweller. Our nominees include insects, birds, plants, fish, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and one very interesting crustacean. Collectively, the list spans coastal wetlands, chaparral, oak woodland, desert edge, freshwater systems, and montane environments. You will have an email from Reverend Sharon in your inbox when you get home with a link to our voting website. Children's votes are weighted 3 times that of adults. So please invite your children and grandchildren to vote. We will be voting in 5 rounds over the next 4 weeks. The voting for our first round begins today and closes Saturday at 3 p.m. So be sure to get your vote in. The winner will be announced at our March 22nd all-church service, and we hope to see you there.
If you are a musical theater nerd like myself, or a musical theater lover, or you're just musical theater curious, join us at Chalice on Saturday, March 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. for the Broadway Sing-Along and Dance Party, celebrating the best in show tunes. Come and sing and dance along to all your favorite Broadway hits, and you can dress up as your favorite characters, or you don't have to dress up. You can do literally whatever you want, because that's what Broadway's all about. You can live out your Broadway fantasies at the most popular Broadway dance party around.
This auction event costs $20 per person and still has room for you. It's going to be great because we can't stop the beat.
'Cause you can't stop the beat. Ever since we first saw the light, a man and woman like to shake it on a Saturday night. And so I'm gonna shake and shimmy it with all of my might today. 'Cause you can't stop the motion of the ocean or the rain from above. They can try to stop the paradise we're dreaming of, but you cannot stop the rhythm of 2 hearts in love to stay. 'Cause you can't stop the beat.
Our social hour will begin in a few minutes online at the same Zoom link and in person on our courtyard. Those of you here in person might want to bring your refreshments into the green room and have a visit with our online congregants. Are you finished?
No.
Reverend Straube and I look forward to greeting you at the chapel doors to hear how the service was meaningful to you. Go in peace. Now you can